All right, so hi everybody. I'm glad you ended up watching this webinar. This means you're interested, or at least you ever thought about starting your own online store. So, my name is Mikola Artemenkon. On a daily basis, I do a digital marketing consultancy. So I've been doing this for the last 2 years. And also, one of my projects was starting an online business like Tie and Fly store, and we've been selling bow ties on a dropshipping model. And this is something I'm going to be talking about during this webinar. Therefore, this is not something that should push you to start your own business. I'm not trying to motivate you up here. I'm not selling you the idea. What I'm trying to show with this webinar is this: everything is right there. Like, you can start even now. All the resources are available, and just up to you how you're gonna work with them. So, what will be described in this webinar, we're going to be talking about the benefits of online selling mostly. We're going to be introducing to dropshipping as a model itself. Also describe a few tools which you'll need to start your business. With a really important part for this webinar is actually categorization of the product, because on this one it really depends what you're going to be next moves and depending on your products. And we're going to be having an introduction to a marketing strategy. So let's move on to the first part of the webinar, which is the knowledge about the offline and online selling and what are actually the benefits of online selling. I don't think there is a need to go through the offline store, since you guys already like watching this webinar, you're thinking about starting an online store, you had an idea at least. And of course, these days, online store, this is the only one which can run at this point. So a huge benefit regarding starting an online business is actually the limited need of space for storage. Like, what you can think about regular offline store, when you buy stuff and then you have to put somewhere and wait until you sort out. For online store, there is no actually need for having a space, at least at the initial stages, and especially for the model I'm going to be describing during this webinar. Another positive part about online business is actually the time to start the business is actually quite short. Like, for us, like me and my friends, when we started our own online store, it took us a month to have everything ready. And this is also like combining with our like regular job, and we did have fun like when we were starting the business. So it literally, you like, if you work hard on this one, I bet you can finish everything like to launch your online store within 2 weeks. Like, seriously, having like a lot of products on your website. um, Investment and maintains, this is one of the things which I really love about online stores and online businesses, because in comparison to like local like businesses, you do save a lot on the initial stages. According to US market, you can save up to $4,000 actually on like on initial investments. So yeah, this is something for people who do not have like that much money to invest in. Therefore, they do have some cash to start their own business though. And tracking. Okay, tracking, this is something which is really important on digitalization and like on right marketing overall. Like tracking how many like what's the price of the lead, like where you actually find the lead and this kind of stuff. Like, when you think about tracking, you can think about a restaurant which tries to promote itself through the through promoters who just give out the flyers. They don't really know where the person came from. Did he actually gain through through the flyer? What's the price of one lead up there? While in like an internet and online business, you can track everything of this. Like, you track like literally anything, which like any interaction with your website or with your store. So this is really cool part about this, and this allows us to use machine learning and all this like data researches, like which is like up to date right now. Plus the audience. Okay, so again, since we're limited initially by investment costs, we are limited initially by the size of the business itself. It's really important for us to find the right audience for your product. So obviously through internet, we actually can reach any person who has phone, who has internet or computer. Plus we already know their interests thanks to Google or like to other data collectors. We know like a lot of stuff about them, and we can find the audience which can be, particular this one can be interested in your product and would be like more useful to advertise in the first stage, particularly for this one. So yeah, to sum it up, no space like needed initially. You can start even today, and like literally, online store is something you can try on with your own marketing, like your marketing skills. Um, Before we move on, literally, actually would like you guys to take a look at this picture and what you can see up here. Think a few minutes about this, and what is more, how much do you think it was sold for? So, okay, to show all the cards right now. Okay, so this is actually Justin Timberlake's leftover French toast. And in 2000s, radio, they managed to sell two of these leftover pieces for $1,000. And come on, like Justin Timberlake doesn't even like French toast, like, but they did manage to sell this like as much. So why did I put this up here? Because I strongly believe that anything, like literally anything, can be sold online, like or like locally. But anyway, everything can be sold online. It's just about showing a right ad, right information to the right person. And this is why we're gonna be moving on to the simplified model of dropshipping and like what actually dropshipping is. So overall, dropshipping is technically an arbitrage on you selling someone's stuff. So first of all, you find the product. This can be anything. It can be a toothpaste you like and you know where to buy it. It can be something you found on AliExpress and you believe this is a good quality and this can be sold somewhere and you can find demand for this product. And this is something which you can bring value with to the market where it's not there yet, or maybe it's not that cheap, or that it's not doesn't have that a big quality in that market. Then you start a new lead generation. So you can do this through a variety of ways. We're going to be discussing this later on during this presentation. But in any case, with the lead generation, by this I mean you actually finding customer. We're going to be talking about the tools. So just the point is you have the product, you found the customer, and at this point, you're actually making an order from the manufacturer. So this is actually the first part when you gotta pay for the product you want to sell. So you technically got an order and you're fulfilling this order through just asking the manufacturer to ship it to the right person. And later on, so this money, you actually already received the money from your lead because he ordered something and now this cash is assigned to your account. It's just assigned yet because initial stages they will have the cash frozen a bit. Therefore, like after some time passes and after the lead received the order he made, you getting your cash on your card. Therefore, I would highly recommend you guys to wait until the delivery confirmation because you don't want to have this like policy issues of returning money and like this frauds. They're usually banned up here like in the internet stuff. Like literally wait until the customer actually gets the product. So again, how are we making money? We find the product, we found the person you want to sell it to, we ordered it from the customer, and the difference, which a lead paid you, and the money you paid to the manufacturer, this is your profit. Well, excluding the advertising costs and all the other like costs which can occur. So this is technically the model up here. Since we described the model, obviously we need the instruments to fulfill it, right? So this is not like local regular shop when you're having, okay, this is a room, people coming there and they sell stuff and they can buy stuff and that's it. No, so this were an internet, of course. So for first thing, we actually need a place where we put our product, where we position our product. So this can be either a website or a platform. So yeah, this is a question where to sell, and this can be anything. I highly recommend Shopify as an initial stage for you guys because this is something I tried. I truly believe that this is a platform which was created for actually like e-commerce, for drop shipping even, and it has analytics inside. And good news about this right now during the crisis, during the epidemic, it actually has 3 months of free trial, which is quite a cool thing. So like within 3 months, you literally can do anything with your like everything with your website. It can be ready, like for sure. If you don't want to go with like Shopify, you can of course go with a regular WordPress. The main difference is that Shopify is actually adjusted for the online store, so it has all this analytics, it has the CRMs inside, and it's easier integrated with other systems. While WordPress, you do have the other plugins. You can find these ones. It's just up to you, which system you'd like to choose. Both of them are really intuitive. Like if you never had something to do with websites, I bet you will be able to learn from both of the systems. And I literally highly recommend you guys to use actually websites on the initial stage instead of some platforms, because you have just more power over your website. You can do it, like any ideas you can implement into your website, any tracking, any creativity, like you can do anything on your website. Therefore, of course, there are like other opportunities to sell your stuff. For example, Amazon, like this class, Instagram, of course, and like other like aspects, like other platforms where you can position your product. One thing about Instagram, like selling through Instagram, I highly recommend you just not use Instagram ads, which are actually done through Instagram. Because in there you have just three buttons. It's like age, location, like some kind of interest, and that's it. Like if you actually try to advertise your products through Instagram, just to please integrate it through Facebook, and you'll have more options, and it's actually going to be actually more useful for you. And of course, like other, for example, for Polish market, this can be Allegro and like other alternatives, like whatever you guys can think of. Any platform can be used for you to position your product. Well, next thing we will need to is actually the data segmentation. Because come on, guys, we are limited on funds. We don't have that much cash. We gotta show our ad to the right person. We don't have that much like chance to lose money, like seriously. And data segmentation, by this I mean we actually gotta find our audience and know who is our client. The simplest which you can use is actually Google Analytics. First of all, it's free and it gives you enough information to know what's happening on your website. So Google Analytics, this is your eyes on your website. Of course, you do have some CRMs, but this is like a bit more advanced. You can actually know until which page the client got to. You can see what he did on the website. And later on, you also set up the goals for your ads, which can be used for machine learning. And this actually where you can segment the audience, and you can later on you can do remarketing, all the other like marketing tools you can do with the audiences and the people on your website. So yeah, this is something which has to be on your website. Or this can be like any other kind of CRM, whatever you guys used to. Just Google Analytics one is the free one. Of course, you can. There are some advanced tools in Yandex, like Yandex Metrics as well. So if you guys want to go more into this, take a look and just try these ones. And the last thing, last but not least, is actually how to get to the top, how to actually get to the clients you want to sell to. So this is paid advertisement. I strongly believe again that you can sell anything through advertisement, and well, this is technically how to sell. Overall, this is something I highly recommend. Again, depends on the product, but Google Ads, this is the huge source of leads. You can find it up here. So technically, through the advertisement, your goal is to get a customer within the revenue flow you're getting from actually this customer. So to be profitable, you gotta cover all your costs within this revenue flow from the customer. So for example, if you're buying a product for $10 and your customer sells it or buys it from you for $100, your advertising costs and all the other like costs which can occur should be lower than $90 which left. Then you can stay profitable. This is like obvious part up here. Please do not exclude other types of advertisement. Again, Facebook, Instagram ads, like all the social media, values. Also influencers, by the way, because influencers today, especially again, dependent on the product, but they do have impact on the customer decision making. So yeah, things through different ways of advertising, switch you through different ways of positioning. This is something you can work with and you can learn on during having your own online store. So, identification of a product. And here, what I'd like to point out is actually to segment your product because you gotta know the strong positions of your product. Therefore, when we're segmenting it, I divided the products, first of all, on two categories. The first one is a commodity product. So if you choose to sell a commodity product, first of all, this is a high demanded product. This can be a good or a service. So this can be also a physical or a digital product. So this starting from a toothpaste to, for example, like any kind of service which is needed by everybody, like a huge demand for it. So yeah, this is everybody needs. While there is another type of product, which is a niche product. And I think this is something which is better to start off because just a bit less of competition and just something I think you should start off. So first of all, this is goods and services. It can be anything. This is something for a specific audience. So for example, I am a swimmer. I'm going to be interested in swim goggles. So swim goggles is going to be a niche product, particularly for swimmers. Therefore, I also added another segmentation of products you can choose, and this is either compulsive or impulsive product. So what's the difference between these two? Compulsive products usually, this is the products which people are looking for. So for example, I want to buy carpets in my car, right? These ones are actually quite expensive. Like on the American market, you can find these ones, the prices start from $300, while for example on AliExpress, you can buy these one for 100. So again, you have like $200 do with them, like whatever you guys want. Therefore, for this product, this is not something, okay, I see this on the internet, I remember, yeah, I should buy new carpets. No, this is something, okay, I see they have a problem with my carpets in the car. I'm going to look for it. So this is active search. I'm active looking for it. I'm checking prices. So this type of product will require a lot of market research, especially the competition, like the competition research. By this, I mean actual comparison of prices, and like other factors like delivery, like quality of your product. But this is more about competing with other businesses, that you actually giving like a cheaper product to the market or the better one. So this is a lot to do about market research. While impulsive product, this is something which should sell itself. This is something when I'm, for example, a bow tie. This is when I'm, for example, like scrubbing my like Instagram page, or I'm just scrolling my whatever news, and I see that this ad pops up. I see I like it, I buy it. So no research required, just impulsively. I see this is a nice thing. I don't really care about price that much. I just like it, I want it, I buy it. So this is about targeting more up here. So this is about actually showing a right ad to the right person. So by this I mean, like, there's no point to show like this, for example, bow ties to the person who is like mostly interested in sports, who doesn't go to any kind of concerts, while actually people who are interested in, I don't know, like for example, graduation parties, like proms and stuff. This is something which can be actually useful for them. And yeah, throughout our customers, most cases it was a seasonally, and like proms, it was like a big boom for us because people actually even buying bow ties because they have this kind of concert, they have this kind of parties, like formal ones. So yeah, after you decided what products you're gonna advertise, this is again, now you're gonna think through the moves which you can do through marketing to actually sell your stuff. And of course, we cannot dive deep into this because again, this is too personal. This is too, like, it depends on the product a lot. But there's like a short overview what you can do with the advertisement, with your marketing strategies. And this is about choosing the right audience. So again, first of all, we have an active audience which somehow ended up like looking for your product. So you either could position your ads through Google, for example, services like Google Search Network or Google Shopping Network, or you just ended up being on the top page from the regular classical search. Maybe, or for example, you posted a comment on some group on Facebook, and people actually started visiting your website. So they're actively looking for your stuff. They're actively looking for your product. Though you have another type of customers who is actually a passive audience, people who don't know yet that actually they need your product. So in this case, you can position your ads, your products through Google Display Network, for example, or like you can shoot the videos. Like, by the way, videos is like really cool thing these days. Even though I know this YouTube ads that are like highly disturbing, they do work though. Again, influencers, you can advertise your stuff to the people, and they're usually like, if you pay, of course, them, they usually actually quite happy to do this. Or just like, again, just regular social media, you post in the groups and you can actually show that your product exists. So for example, you afterwards, you're actually going to be working with both of this audience, because, okay, so first the person got to your website, then you actually, but it didn't convert, it didn't buy stuff from you. Well, what you do, you start doing remarketing, you start to push them actually to look at your product, maybe some promos, and eventually the person ends up buying your stuff. So that's actually where we're coming to the remarketing list, where we're coming to automation. So this Google like really loves to talk about this and to actually and implement automation and like strategies, like bidding strategies, like smart lists and stuff. And this is something which is already there. It's just up to you guys how to use this. And of course, like this is like fully topic of date, this big data. It's again, it's all available, and you can like find a lot of stuff, like a lot of interesting information and the right audience for you through this. To give you some information on actually how much it can cost for you, give you some estimations from my own Google Ads account. This is account for a swim school. And for example, you can see here the numbers, how much I can get from just like $1 per day of making a regular display ad. So like showing a picture of my product wherever I want. So for example, if I'm going to be targeting US market for $1 per day, I will get around 4,000, 4K at least impressions. So this is how many people will see my ad. It can get up to 11K though, right? And from this money, I can get around like, okay, 40 clicks, as you can see up here. Therefore, again, this is like each ad is like each type of ad. It's quite like it differentiates, it varies. So again, for the same ad, if I'm going to be targeting Poland, I'm going to be getting twice more impressions and twice more clicks than for the same money I'm going to invest in US market. And again, you can see if you're targeting Ukraine, you're getting less impressions, but therefore you can obtain more clicks just because of the average cost per click price. So anyways, advertising is like a quite different topic. You have a lot to discuss on this one, and we just cannot do this through the webinar right now. So therefore, to sum it up, how actually the system works, that's probably the most important website, is it the most important slide up here is next. So you are right here somewhere in Europe, Ukraine, wherever. You found a supplier, okay, regularly it's in China, usually, okay, because again, AliExpress, again, most of the producers are there. Therefore, it doesn't have to, just the classical way of how dropshipping used to look like, at least. Before, it also can be in any part of the world, like seriously. And your customer is up here, just because, again, the classical idea of drop shipping, because of the price differences, like you guys know some of the products in, for example, in Europe or in Ukraine, Russia, whatever, Poland, that can be cheaper, while like in US, it's just, as for a consumer, it's okay to pay way more, like what you used to pay like in your like home country. So you end up okay, putting a website, creating a website, or position your product somewhere. You will initially find a customer which makes an order from you first. Then you order a product from a supplier, and supplier shifts it straight to the customer. So in this model, you don't even interact with the product you just order. Sometimes you can you don't need even have it on your hands. You just ship it straight to the customers. By the way, when you actually start to do something like this, start to do drop shipping, actually connect with a supplier and tell them that you're a drop shipper. First of all, they would love to cooperate with you because it's in their interests as well, because they're selling their part. And you also can ask not to put any promos in the product you're actually selling. But again, dropshipping, this is initial stage. Maybe later on you'll be able to start your own production, which will be way more interesting. And this is something you can actually practice on. So yeah, this is it from my side. Thank you a lot for your time. If you're interested, feel free to write me any comment, to show me any questions. You can find my contacts through web, internet, wherever. So thank you for your time, guys. I hope you enjoyed it.